Welcome to Egg Foo What, the first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again another episode of Egg Food. What? I'm Greg Wilson. Young Michael, how are we doing this week?
More of the same, but
After last week where you told that story about you thought you were gonna lose your bowels all over the emergency room, but just ended up making it to the bathroom.
yeah. There's more hospital stories, but I don't want to begin
All
with
right.
that.
Okay.
My family is dealing with some stuff now, but I'm looking on the bright side and moving forward.
There you go.
I know you're anxious to talk about the Oscar nominees. You're such a big movie fan.
Well, that's funny because I'm not a movie fan. Like nobody goes to if we scroll through this list, I bet you I've seen fewer movies than anybody on earth.
But even with the streaming options, I can understand not going to theaters that often if there's not a theater near you. But it's kind of easier than ever to see these movies with streaming.
Yeah,
and
I'm just not a movie. Like I'm much more of a sitcom guy than a movie. Like even streaming, it's rare for me to commit to a movie. I don't know why. I mean,
it's sort of surprising.
I watched 2
to
episodes
me.
of the Bob Newhart show last night. That's an hour. I mean, I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
So
no, I get the little gulps, and a movie you got to commit at least to like an hour and a half. And the thing with one of my chief complaints now is the movies are too long. I'd rather watch some old movie, sometimes under 90 minutes, and it's great, and I'm not sitting there for 2.5 hours. I mean, I don't go see these superhero movies. I have zero interest in that. But all those things are like.
I wonder how much of that is due to the fact that it's all digital now, not film. Because the old days, actual film cost money, so you had to kind of, now like Judd Apatow does 9,000 takes for every scene, and then after that, I'm sure it's tough for him to cut all of the funny bits. So then all of a sudden, there were 2.5 hour Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah, I don't know about the Judd Apatow method, but I just know that movies are too long now. And some of the movies on this list, I'm looking at the Best Picture nominees, were well over 2 hours. I mean, Avatar, this sequel, I think that thing's over 3 hours.
Didn't that just break the record, like $6 billion on one weekend or something?
Yeah, apparently, the first one.
Did you watch the first one?
I did see the first one, and I even did the 3D thing. You had to get the glasses on the way in.
I would not think it would be a Mike Lisk picture du jour.
Really? Did you see it?
No.
No, you never saw the first Avatar movie.
No, I don't watch dumb movies about pretend creatures in forests.
Did you see Titanic?
No.
No. Wow. Okay. So
I've seen enough clips of it. Plus, I know how that ends. Like, but am I going to sit down and watch 2.5 hours of the Titanic? No.
See, sometimes I feel the need to see when some movie has become a sensation. I'm curious, like, why is this movie a sensation? Why now? Top Gun, the Top Gun sequel was sort of like that for me. I mean, I never saw the first. I never saw the first one.
So you were lost when you saw the sequel?
No, I wasn't lost.
What's going
on? No, I saw the first Top Gun before I saw the sequel. And I'll say this, and I think I'm probably in a minority. I thought the new one was better because they have better special effects now. So all the flying stuff was amazing. In the original, it was like they had none of that. You had guys in their cockpit and they were shaking and stuff. None of the stuff where you're actually seeing the planes, what the planes are doing.
Well, I didn't see the sequel. I didn't see the recent one, but I don't know how it couldn't be better. Like it's all the good stuff about Top Gun, just the big dopey, oh, we're gonna fly around and kill this unnamed enemy, but it seems like it delivered exactly what people wanted.
Yeah. Well, I owe it to the fact that they literally stole from Star Wars, where
Well,
they
there you
had
go.
to place a bomb in a tiny little area. Sound familiar? So yeah, but it was exciting. I went to see that in the theater. Of the 10 movies nominated, I've seen
I
half of the.
wish I wish I was a super Star Wars nerd, because
Uh-huh.
then I would point out to you, well, George Lucas got the Star Wars idea from a Japanese,
Yeah, no, I know that
fable
too.
of the
Yeah,
1400,
yeah,
blah blah blah.
yeah.
But I'm not enough of a nerd, so I can't pull that off. Well, let's run down the list of the 10 and
All
tell
right.
me what. All Quiet on the Western Front.
I like to see that. I think that's on
I have a short
Netflix.
story about that.
I had to do a book report on the book when I was in high school. Good book.
Yeah,
Have you read
I
that
have
one?
a short story. Years ago, I read the book maybe 30 years ago, literally.
Uh-huh.
And I had it with me when I was in a Hardee's restroom, reading it while I perform my.
You brought it in. You brought it into the. Oh, all right.
Well, it's Hardee's. I knew it was going to
Okay.
be a while, and so,
Uh-huh.
I guess, and I could tell there's a guy in the stall next to me, or across. No, it was like the stall was like across from. It's really weird. It was the '90s. Things were weird.
More bathroom
The
talk
stalls,
on egg foo. What?
the
Go
stall was
ahead.
across, and I'm sitting there. And I didn't notice. I was like, boy, the cracks in these doors are like I could kind of see
Uh-huh.
the guy, like
All
if I
right.
tried. Right.
Well,
And
I mentioned that one of the horrors of modern life would be making eye contact on through the crack of a bathroom door. So
well,
you
this
made
was
eye
worse.
contact? Worse.
This was worse. Uh,
Worse.
caught his eye, and I could tell just an old guy, like a
Oh
thousand
yeah.
years old. I
Okay.
don't know how long he'd been on the.
Uh,
And now you're not gonna like this, but this is a true story.
uh,
Uh, we could do a bleep button here. Can I say what happened?
go
Or
ahead. Go ahead.
he said, "Let me suck it for you."
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't
Oh.
think he was talking about the eyeball that had caught his.
Uh-huh.
So I just kind of,
Oh God.
it's the first time I'd ever, well, not the first time I'd been in
Yeah.
on, but I
Oh,
kind of like,
I
oh, and then
wow.
in my, I don't want to call it panic.
Uh-huh.
He was an old man. What could he have done to me? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the prime of my youth then. But I did kind of sprint out, and then I realized I left the book in that bathroom. Well, never went back
All
to it.
right. That story, I mean, it had its ups and downs, but you saved that story. I
Thank you.
mean, I was tempted to cut it until,
Mhm.
until you mentioned
Well, I
that
tried to dance around
you
it
left the book
respectfully because I
behind.
know you get upset.
Uh-huh.
So I think I got the story through uh, pretty good, right?
So did you have to buy another copy of the book?
No, never looked back. Just left it. Haven't
So
bought it.
you never finished the book then.
No, I did read another one of the same guys though, the three sisters or three brothers, or
Mm-hmm.
same by the same guy. Never finished it. What if I went back to that parties outside of Richmond, Virginia, walked
It's
in,
still
went to that
there. It's still
bathroom,
there.
and it's still sitting there?
Uh,
I bet that guy's not still sitting there because I promise you he's not alive. Uh, First of all, you can't live at Hardee's that long, too long, much
yeah.
less whatever was the shenanigans going on in the bathroom. None of my business, Hardee's. I don't care.
Uh-huh. I think it's
I
worth going there and asking if they have a lost and found.
lost and found.
And
Instead
what
of
are
the
the
book,
odds that somebody would have returned looking for a copy?
yeah.
I imagine it would be sitting in the lost and found all these years.
What if I go to the lost and found and I tell them a story and they go, hold on, I'll be right back. And they come back, but not with the book. They have the guy.
Uh-huh.
He's like, here's Jim. He's been waiting for you.
Uh-huh.
Found him. So that's what I think of when I think of All Quiet on the Western Front. Other than
Uh-huh.
one of my favorite Ramon songs has always been All's Quiet on the Eastern Front, which is a great overlooked Ramones classic. Should be classic, but get
Well,
sandwiched between the KKK, took my baby away, and we want the airwaves. I don't want to
Pleasant
get
Dreams.
derailed on the tangent there, but that's what I think of when I think of All Quiet on the Western Front. And you haven't seen the movie, or you did read the book, but you haven't seen the movie either, correct?
Not the new version. I mean, there is an old black and white version of the movie, which is very good too. I
Who's in
saw
that?
that. Oh, I can't even remember. It's pretty old. I mean, it came out. I'm thinking like in the 30s,
Yikes.
40s in there. Yeah, pretty old movie, but it was good. It's worth seeing. But I've heard good things about the new one, and I
Yeah,
will definitely check it out at some point. But right now, I've only seen 5 of the 10 movies nominated.
I guess
I
we're not
saw
going to go through them one by one like I was
I
planning on.
saw Top Gun.
Oh.
I saw the Banshees of Inisherin.
Mhm.
You see that one?
Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? I'm
Yeah, I
conflicted.
was like, why did this? I didn't think there was much to that movie.
Which it's a
That,
shame because it could have been, because I'm like, wow, you don't get a lot of movies where adult male friends kind
mhm,
of have a moment of like, you know,
right.
even commenting on their friendship, because that's just not
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much less saying, "Hey, I don't want to be friends anymore."
Uh-huh.
So I was like, "Wow, wow, this could be really." And what's his name? Farrell was amazing.
Yeah,
Brandon
he's good in
Gleeson's
it.
always
Yeah, the 2
amazing.
leads are good.
They're great. The scenery's off the charts. Of
Yeah.
course, I loved it. But then the whole, chopping his fingers off, it just took me
Yeah.
out of it. I'm like, all right, that's just too ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't understand. At that point, it just removed all not plausibility, because obviously that's so absurd and ridiculous. But I was like, wow, what a wasted opportunity for what could have been a beautifully moving,
Hmm.
sad movie. And then
Yeah.
it's like some guy's chopping off his fingers. Because in this Irish village, of which there's 6 people within 300 miles of you anyway, you
Yeah.
can't stand this one guy talking to you, so you chop off your fingers. It just took me out of it. It's too much.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
I
so
agree.
beautiful to look at,
Yeah.
brilliantly acted. But
I
I'm
didn't
like,
get the weird kid, the weird
well, he's up
guy.
for an Academy Award. He was great.
Yeah,
Everybody
you
was
liked
great.
him? You liked that character?
Yeah, he was
I
great.
don't
Everybody
know.
was great. But then I'm like, I can't take one of the 4 people within 100 miles wants to talk to me, so I'm going to
Yeah.
chop off my fingers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of opportunities for silence
Hmm.
in Nichiren or whatever.
All right.
Let's have this movie, but the guy works at like in Grand Central or something and just constantly chops off parts of his body.
I mean,
It
I've been
lasts like
reading about this
1
writer for
second.
so long. I keep checking him out. This is his second movie, right? He's written a bunch of plays. I haven't
Did you
read
are you
any.
going to talk about the Bruges or whatever? The other
Uh,
one that Colin Farrell did with Brandon Gleeson, or was that a different writer?
I think that's a different writer. I'm talking about Martin McDonough. Is that how you
Okay,
pronounce his name? McDonough.
I don't know. Hmm.
I think he did a movie, a few years ago, and I saw it. And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't get it. But his plays have been, critically acclaimed. I think I even have like a couple books of the
Mm-hmm.
plays, but I haven't read them. But he's just one of these guys. I keep, going in encouraged and confident. Like finally, some adult themes.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, yeah, I agree with everything you said about it. Uh, but yeah, it just left me unsatisfied at the end. It's like, well, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that wasn't.
Well, and then everybody's telling me if you like the 2 of them together, which who doesn't like them together, you got to watch the Bruges.
Mhm.
Did I say that right? Did you
Okay.
watch that?
You know what? I think I have seen that, but I
I got
have
it on Apple
zero
TV. I'm gonna
memory
watch.
about like what the hell it was about, or I think it was another
Yeah.
disappointment. Um,
Speaking
yeah,
of disappointment, I don't want to derail from Oscar too much, but I finally started watching Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. Okay.
I forget
Uh,
what happened. I don't know. Somebody mentioned Mike Myers or something. I was like, all right, time to. But I couldn't watch that movie when it came out, because 10 minutes after it came out, every dude I knew was doing the baby, doing the Austin Powers, to
yeah.
where I just wanted to punch everybody in the face and not
Uh,
watch this movie.
okay.
Even though I know it's a good movie. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't stomach the thought of it. Like hi,
Uh,
baby. I'm like, oh. And Elizabeth Hurley is my number one
uh-huh.
superstar, as we
Uh-huh.
all know. But yeah, I tried to watch it. I made it like 10 minutes, and I was like, all right, I don't know. Couldn't do it.
I mean, there's like 3 of them, 4 of them. I don't even know how many there are.
I think 3. Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
made like almost $1 billion between them.
Yeah. No,
So
I watched them. Like, I remember laughing at some of them, and some of it I thought like, well, this thing's done. But yeah, I mean, I could see getting sick of the the people
oh
doing the
god,
impressions. That was
it was right when I
popular.
moved to New York. Everybody was doing it constantly.
Yeah.
Drove me fucking nuts. So anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
but and then Elvis, the Elvis movie, we both liked. We watched
Yeah, that
that.
was the other movie I went to see in the theater. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
I'll be happy if that guy Austin Butler, if he wins the Oscar. I thought he was great. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know how
no,
serious a role you want to say it
I
is, but
enjoyed that movie.
yeah.
But I'm having a feeling you haven't seen Triangle of Sadness yet.
What does that mean?
That's one of the
Maybe I've seen it.
nominees. That's one
Huh,
of the
I haven't seen it.
nominees.
You haven't seen Triangle of Sadness because all you do is watch Hoosiers and 10 minutes of Austin Powers. Listen to you, snob.
No,
All you know,
I'm not a
love
fan of
this
this
movie.
movie. It's gotten also a fair amount of critical acclaim.
I mean, the disdain and condensation, condense. Fuck, what am I trying to say? Now I do sound like an idiot.
I'm
The
being
idea
condescending to you.
condescending to me that you think I have not seen this is a
Well,
little
it's on a streaming service. It doesn't sound like something you would look into.
shame on you,
Um,
Mike Liss. You're
it's
gross.
it's a
You don't
foreign
know
movie.
me.
There's subtitles.
You think you know me.
Uh-huh. Did you like Monty Python's The Meaning of Life?
Some of it. I didn't like it of obviously anywhere near as much as Holy
Did you
Grail
like
or
the scene in the restaurant?
not really. The fat
No.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they did the same thing in Magical Mystery Tour.
Uh-huh.
So
Well,
no. So because
imagine.
after coming at you pretty hard a minute ago, I now do have to confess I did not watch Triangle of Sadness. And if I'm being super honest,
Uh-huh.
I'd never heard of it until I was looking at it right now on this Wikipedia page.
Well, imagine a scene from The Meaning of Life, the restaurant scene, but on a cruise ship. And
Oof.
there's more than one person getting sick. And this goes on for I don't maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I was kind of done with the movie at that point. I was like, okay. And then you've got who's your buddy from Cheers? I'm blanking out. Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's in it. He plays a drunken captain of a cruise ship, if you can believe that, who when he gets drunk, he starts quoting Marx, reading passages of Marx over the intercom to his rich
Harpo?
passengers. Yeah, it's too much. I mean, then at the end it turns into Survivor. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of that movie. And there's the Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, what is that? I just keep hearing things about, it's about him wanting to bang his mother or something weird. What is that?
All right. It's not, yeah, it's not that, but it's I guess it's his he wanted to do a personal film about his youth and his he had difficult mother, very difficult woman, very emotional. She had an affair. So I guess he wanted to get that out of his system. I didn't find it particularly interesting, but
I mean, this guy did Jaws.
Yeah.
And yet he's thinking, gee, this is gonna knock people's socks off.
Uh-huh. Well,
What the
I think
hell?
I saw a quote where he said that he's not getting any younger, and this was some material he wanted to make a movie from, so he felt like he's got to do it now, or he may not be able to do it at all. So
Like
I give him
Bruce
credit.
putting out tracks.
Well, I give him credit for wanting to get a personal story, do a movie with a personal theme, but I don't know. I just didn't
Would you
find it.
rather have had Jaws 5?
Just fun. Uh,
Steven Spielberg is at a conference table. Fellas, I got two movies to pitch.
uh-huh.
It's one about something or other about my mother, or Jaws 5. Come on, where are we putting our money? Come on.
Yeah.
No chance. No
Yeah.
chance the Fablemans gets made
Uh-huh.
versus Jaws 5.
Yeah, this was definitely a vanity project for him. I don't know what it's making at the box office, but yeah, I suspect it's not as much money as Jaws.
No.
So, and then there's Tar, the highbrow.
You kept bringing that up the other week. You brought up Tar like 3 times.
Well, Tar is the highbrow
I'm
nominee.
listening.
It's about Kate Blanchett is a classical music conductor, and she runs into
Some news.
some difficulty with a student, and
Did you watched it? Because
yeah, I watched it. I couldn't watch it in one sitting. It's very long. Again, it's over 2 hours long. I started watching it. I'm like, okay, I put in an hour. I'll check at the second hour tomorrow. But very dry. Not my cup of tea. Zero humor.
Yeah.
I
No thanks.
yeah. If I need to have humor in stories to really grab me. Uh, I think people think if there's humor in a story, it's not serious. So a lot of filmmakers, I think, just want to be taken seriously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They want
Meanwhile, that's not how life is.
to.
Like,
Yeah, no,
people are serious and funny throughout the day, like normal.
exactly. Yeah, you can't separate the two things.
Hey, how funny would Jaws 5 be? I mean, terrifying,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like Jaws 5 we could make funny.
Uh-huh. The
Unlike
other
Tar.
movies, I started watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I'm watching this, and it starts detracting from reality. I don't need to for every movie to be based in reality, but sometimes it just goes too far for me. And I watched a half hour of this movie, and they started talking about alternative universes in a janitor's
Oh,
closet, and I was
no
like,
thanks.
what am I watching
Next.
here? Yeah, what am I
Next.
watching? So maybe I'll watch the end of that. I don't know. And then I guess I get another very serious movie, which I hadn't really heard of, Women Talking.
Never heard of it.
Any no.
Literally never heard of it. Just like Triangle Sadness. Never seen those words together until now.
Yeah, this one is very heavy subject matter. Women in a religious order who've been sexually assaulted. So yeah, not a
Can't
date
make a
night.
joke about this one. Great.
No,
Okay.
not right. They say not a date night movie, right? So yeah,
No laugh track on this
no,
picture.
this one
So
is.
out of these 10, you saw
I saw 5.
5.
Well, 5 and a third if you count the half
Yeah.
hour of.
Who should win the Oscar for Best Picture?
Well, the big news is they're saying this is all
No,
political. This is
no,
all
no.
political, so it's
I'm
not
asking
even
Mike
really about
List.
what's the best movie. It's
I'm
about
asking Mike List.
what's the best movie for the movie industry. So it's either going to be Avatar or Top Gun, I think.
You think they
want.
Top Gun?
Yeah, I think they want to send a message. I mean, the fact that it got nominated was like a big deal, right?
I think it's just unassailable. I mean, it's just, how could you not nominate it just because it's so big? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they would have taken too much shit.
But
I'll be surprised if that wins. And
I think
I'm
it's
just as happy. I don't care.
But
what was your favorite out of the ones that you saw?
I liked Elvis. Yeah, I would say Elvis was the most enjoyable movie. But the Top Gun, I went in with zero expectations, and it was entertaining. Let's put it that way. So I just watched the movie. Ambulance. Ever heard of that one? It's a Michael Bay movie,
Oh God.
and it's an action movie. It's a bank heist goes wrong, chaos ensues on the streets of L.A., car chases, ambulance chases. Meanwhile, there's a wounded police officer in the back of the ambulance who needs surgery. I mean, everything's over the top. I mean, it knows it's ridiculous. I mean, I give it that much credit. And it's, to me, it's sort of like, have you ever seen any of the John Wick movies?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
But those movies are that way too. It's just over the top action to the point of ridiculousness, and it's entertaining in its own way.
Sure.
What's his name's in it? Gyllenhaal. What's his first name?
Jake.
Jake Gyllenhaal is in it. Yeah. He's one of the bank robbers. So yeah, you go into a movie like that, it's like, oh, this is just ridiculous, but it never stops. The action is just nonstop. The soundtrack is ridiculous. A lot of these movies just got to like kill you with the soundtrack, just sort of a pounding,
Oh yeah.
nonstop pounding that you get. Like, God,
It's
stop.
like being in a bar or a restaurant now. They think if there's a split second of quiet,
Oh yeah, yeah.
people will panic.
Even at stadiums, right? If you go to a ball game,
Yeah. Yes.
that's what it reminds you of. Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, the last football game I went to, it was, I mean, it was at DC, so I don't know if it's even more so. Like every dead ball between every play, they're just rushing out the military, constantly jets flying every 2 seconds. They're running some guy out in the middle of the field. This is Sergeant so and so, just constant and the noise.
You're
Oh,
right.
brutal.
They can't, like, silence is like to be avoided at all costs.
Yeah, even at baseball games,
Yeah.
if you're
Oh,
sitting next to
baseball,
someone, huh?
basketball. Yeah. Ever go to a professional basketball game?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, it's
Well,
relentless.
at least that you expect it because it's a little more excited, up tempo.
Uh-huh.
Baseball, in your head, you're like, well, it's a pastoral game. I'll
Yeah.
relax. Baseball, now you're sitting next to somebody, you have to scream because between every pitch, they think if they don't blast music, like jet level music, then you're gonna panic and just run out of the stadium.
Or fall
It
asleep.
drives me.
You're gonna fall
Yeah,
asleep. It's too quiet in here.
I
People are
don't
gonna.
understand. I mean, of all sports, baseball, you think it'd be like, okay, well, these people know it's a quiet, slow game. Nope, can't do it. Just
Actually,
between every
yeah,
pitch.
now that you mention it, I mean, I haven't been to a professional baseball game in a long time, and it wasn't that bad. I don't remember it being that bad the last time I went. So, yeah, it must be a developing thing where, yeah, they've decided no more no more silence at baseball games.
No, even between pitches, cannot take a second to miss an opportunity, just blast away. They got to tell you when to clap, tell you when to cheer, tell you when to stand up. I'm like, we've all seen the game. Like, it's like when I went to Martha Stewart taping and they had to tell you when to stand up and cheer. I'm like, well, this is a baseball game. I know when something good happens. So I
Speaking
get
of
why we're
good,
oh,
I had one of the best dishes I've had in this journey so far.
are we calling this a journey?
Yeah, it's a journey. It's
Oh,
all part of the journey, Greg. You know that.
uh,
Part of the journey.
maybe Joseph, what's his name? Herman Hess can write a book about us.
Maybe.
Who's the guy? Joseph, he wrote all those mystical books.
I liked those books in high school. I was very young when I read them.
Yeah. Joseph,
Steppenwolf. No, is that one? No,
that's
Sid
one.
Arthur. Sid
That's born to
Arthur.
be
I
wild.
mean, they used
That's
to be
born to be
taught.
wild, Mike.
They used to be taught in high school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know
What
if
is it,
he's taught anymore.
Joseph something.
No, Herman
I don't
Hesse.
know. Yeah, Sid Arthur was one.
Yeah, Herman Hesse.
Was that what I was saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got it right the first time. Look at me.
You read
All
Sid
right.
Arthur?
No, I didn't read that garbage. No, I'm reading some nonsense.
I read a bunch
Come
of
on,
his books. They were good. But
come on.
I'm
I can't be
curious
wrong.
whether young people still like that writer. I like them. I'm trying to think of some of the other titles.
You know what I'm reading is, did you ever watch that show Bored to Death on HBO?
I think I maybe gave it one episode. What's it about?
Jason Schwartzman, Ted Danson, Zach Galifianakis. Schwartzman gets dumped, and so he's a writer, and he becomes like a part-time detective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I burned through the whole thing like last week. It's really entertaining. Just the three of them are great to hang out with. But the guy who created it wrote a couple of books, and I just started one. It's pretty funny. I'm about a third of the way through, and it's just one of these things where, like, if you like the guy's voice inside his head, you'll be entertained. You'll like the book.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really happened. Like, it's him and his butler Jeeves, which he acknowledges. There is a whole scene where he's like, "Is it weird that you call Jeeves and you're a butler, like PG Ward?" So that's what I'm reading. So I don't know why that came up. Oh, do kids read? And then I turned my nose up at the Herman Hesse book or whatever. And
I'm looking at the Herman Hesse
Wake Up, Sir
titles, and I read a bunch of them. There's Sid Arthur, Damien, which was good, Steppenwolf, Narcissus and Goldman. So that's about 4 of them that I read. I think Narcissus and Goldman had a little passage towards the end, which I had a crush on a young woman in high school, and I think I borrowed pretty liberally from a passage from Narcissus and Goldman for a little love letter.
Oh, look at you!
So I plagiarized.
Been there, brother.
I plagiarized in a heartfelt love letter to a young woman who spurned my advances. But I put together this great little note.
Oh yeah, me too. Been there, brother.
Yeah. Who did you borrow from?
Soul Asylum.
Soul Asylum. Okay. All right. I'm not surprised.
Some lit class, and I wrote down part of one of their songs. Sirens are. I'm drawing a blank on it now. And she was so touched. Then I went to a party at her house, and she had it up on the fridge. And I'd walk by, she goes, "Oh my God." She'd grab people. "Can you believe Greg wrote this for me?"
Wow. Okay.
And then I'm like, "Oh shit." Luckily, that's before anybody gave a shit about Soul Asylum. So
yeah.
And jokes on her. She had no interest in me. So nothing happened. So Karen, her name was Karen with a Y, which I love.
Karen with a Y. Okay.
Great chompers, great name. Karen with a Y.
Great chompers. Yeah, well, seeing it on the refrigerator, though, must have been somewhat devastating, right? You don't know where these things are going to go, right? You put it out there, and you're risking ridicule, right? And I got no feedback whatsoever. It was sort of I passed it to her at our graduation ceremony.
Oh, it's like a John Hughes movie.
She was already involved with some other dude, like a guy in his 20s. I'm like, so I was intimidated, but I had to get this off my chest, So I put it out there, and it fell without a sound.
This was a letter?
Was that?
It was a letter?
Yeah, a little letter. Yeah.
And there was no response? She just left the state?
I basically, it was sort of my parting gesture in the parking lot after our high school graduation. And
have you seen her since? Like, was it
never
brought
no,
up?
we're good. We're good friends now. her.
So you can joke about it
You've met her. Gina.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I've known her since high school. So
yeah, I sweated it out making a mixtape. Like 5 hours of sweating out the perfect order.
The mixtapes. Yeah, I did one of those too.
Give it to this girl. She looks at it. She goes, "Can you put that on a CD? Otherwise, I'm not going to listen to it."
There you go. Everything. Yeah, it's all, you try and do something and it just blows up in your face. You try.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Put it out there.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
And
Put
then
it
hope you
out
don't
there.
get busted at a party because your stupid song you ripped off is up on the refrigerator.
Did anybody ever figure it out?
Nobody busted. I think I
Okay.
took it down like, oh, don't, I don't think anybody busted me.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, that would have been a hell of a cock block if some asshole. That's not, he didn't write that. Okay. That would have been a problem. But yeah, nothing happened with it. So. Little success with the mixtape girl. Not as much as
you did transfer it to a CD?
No.
Oh, you didn't have the technical prowess?
No, I put my foot down. I said, this is a mixtape. If
This
we're
is
going anywhere,
this is
little
a
lady.
very romantic gesture. How are you missing this?
Yeah, I said, first of all, I can't believe you're not crying right now. This great moment of me handing you this mixtape. And I'm sure I had a nice note on it, like, hey, something like I said, first of all, I don't want to hear your mouth until you've listened to this. And then I walked away. So
yeah,
didn't go well.
Romantic
I
failures.
don't think I transferred it, but
maybe we'll do a whole episode.
I do have the you know what's sad? This is pathetic. I still have the tape. I still have the tape. And years ago, I wrote down. I know what the songs are. If you want me to look it up right now, I can tell you exactly what songs.
You'll have
it were.
to put a playlist up on social media just to bring it all, full circle.
Oh yeah, no, I posted about it years ago. But here it is. Yeah, I posted about it in 2007. I'll post it.
Yeah, but we'll get the link going. Oh,
what a
okay. I
great
didn't know
song.
you put this out there before. I thought I had some.
Hit after hit, and she was like, "No thanks, bye bye."
I think my one attempt at a mixtape, I think it went over well, but yeah, the relationship did not move forward. But I think I think I did present myself as a deeper soul than she may have thought. But hey, like you said, you put it out there. I mean, the pathetic ending to my my love letter was that I think I had a copy. I don't know why I kept a copy, but maybe I had some my handwriting issues. But I had a copy in a drawer, and I think my mother came across it and on one of her purges, and just chucked it.
Yeah.
So
I
don't even have.
Sadder. Yeah, I think it's sadder that we have the like. Why do I still have this mixtape? Right?
Yeah.
Like that's
it's bad enough.
And now that I'm looking at the playlist,
Uh-huh.
like I used to have a kind of formula with these things. Like you lead off with 2 or 3 super strong cuts, and then you want to peel it back to show you sensitive side, like have a ballad, like a little.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this.
What did you kick it off with?
Sha-la-la-lee, the Small Faces.
Okay, nice.
I don't see a slow jam. And
so you think that
Jesus Christ, the whole no wonder she moved. There's like
slow jams.
Slow.
Wow.
Well, Fort Worth Blues, the Steve Earle song. It's Only Make Believe, Conway Twitty. Days, the Kinks. Yeah, maybe that's what I did wrong.
And what year are we talking about?
The song list on the cassette tape.
And you talking like the early 90s?
This was November 3rd, 2001.
2001, okay.
Yeah. So I was post 9/11, so maybe I was distracted. I didn't think to put a nice ballad in there. You sound like a nice sensitive cut into 3 or 4 slots.
Right, yeah.
But this is just all rockers. No wonder, Jesus Christ, no wonder I'm alone today.
But they're again, not I like that you're all over the place time wise, but I think I don't hear any. Well, Steve Earle may have been somewhat contemporary, but the other songs are kind of old in 2001.
I mean, the number 3 is "I Want to Destroy You," the Soft Boy song. I don't know, maybe that wasn't brilliant to put that.
Old and obscure. I think that's where you didn't succeed. Too old. Too many old songs, too many obscure songs.
And the title saying, "I want to destroy you." Maybe that's not. I'd like to think that at the time I was like putting my masculine stamp down and this is how it's going to work. I don't think, I doubt that that's what happened. Yeah. Looking at this list, great songs, but I think now I may see why she just kind of rolled her eyes and ensured that 30 years later, 20 years later, I would have the tape, not her. So I'll post it. And, you know,
I can't remember all the songs on my my
I used to like to
mixtape.
do liner notes too. Did you do liner notes?
No.
Oh, I'd like to get some of those back.
uh
Sure, they were brilliant.
Now I'm pretty sure what's the Springsteen, the Secret Garden? Is that the Springsteen song? What's
From
that?
Jerry Maguire?
Was that? Yeah, I bought the single.
Oh,
what is it? Secret Garden? I'm even blanking out on the title.
that's terrible little ballad song on Jerry Maguire.
You don't like that song?
I mean,
come on,
I
the lyrics are right in there. I mean, it's kind of
never stuck. It's never stuck with me.
I mean, it's for a mixtape. She'll let you in her house if you come knocking late at night. Come on, she'll let
What
you
kind of
in her
young lady
mouth.
is that, Mike?
Come on.
Come on,
She'll let you.
What kind of young lady is that?
She'll let you in her mouth
Knocking on the door 2 in the
if the
morning. She's gonna let
words
you
you
in.
say are right. Come on.
I don't need trash like that. I don't want
Trash.
2 in the morning just opening the door for anybody. Come on now.
And that was one song, and I'm thinking, who's blanking out on the artist. I follow him on Twitter. I can't think of it now.
What's the song? Sing.
Jesus,
I don't know
why
that
am I blanking out? Let's move on. But yeah, I can only remember about 2 songs that I put on the thing, but I thought it couldn't fail. It couldn't fail,
Yeah.
and
I'm sure when I was whipping this out, I was like, well, we're gonna be together forever. This is gonna work like a here I am 20 years
yeah,
later.
the optimism. You're full of optimism when you conceive these projects.
And this is this one in particular, because I was so crazy about this. Well, I'd made it. I curated it perfectly. I woke up that next morning, panicked. I was like, nope, got to scrap the whole thing. Got to start over. It's like, I don't know, like Dylan throwing some tapes into the river. Got to start over. Ugh.
Yeah.
Hey, if she's out there listening to this, she'll know. She'll come back. If you're out there, baby, I'm ready.
If you only knew, right?
Yeah, break's over.
Anyway, we haven't talked about the dish this week, and for me,
yes, you started saying something.
Yeah, I started. We got side rail, but this was one of the best.
Thing?
Or derailed.
You mean derailed?
Derailed, yeah.
Derailed or sidetracked?
Sidetracked. I made up my
Not
own word.
Side rail.
Yeah,
side
no,
rail.
Okay. Thanks for catching that. I knew it was wrong as soon as I said it.
But, I'm just curious.
I was just trying.
You're a learned man of letters. I don't know. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Anyway, this week.
I'm just saying that right now people are like, "Wow, Greg is a genius." And Mike's a bit of an idiot. Just saying.
I gotta bolster your confidence. Yes.
Yes.
So I'll take
my lumps and learn real words.
I'll take my lumps as they come. But
on to the dish.
On to the dish.
I kept side railing you.
You suggested shredded pork with black pepper, which I couldn't find on any of the menus I have here. But I did see shredded pork with Peking sauce.
You mean Peking?
No, what?
No, joking.
And I was like, oh, Peking sauce. I don't think I've had a dish with Peking sauce before. And it was a hot dish. And I was like, oh, okay, now, I'm going to make sure I say I want it spicy. And guess what? They came through. It was the spiciest dish I've had so far. And it was phenomenal. I loved it. I think I think it's the best dish I've had on this journey.
The best.
Yeah. I think
what was your number one before?
Well, I had the number one thing. Well, I liked what was it? The Campo chicken or whatever. I mean, I think I had that once before. So it wasn't totally unfamiliar like this one. This was a totally unfamiliar dish for me, and it really hit the spot.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll
I
give
had
it
a
a like.
total different experience.
Oh yeah.
Everything, all my worst nightmares about goop culminated in this travesty of a dish. The only thing I'm putting below this is chow mein. This was, I sent you a picture. It looks like a huge cereal bowl with a little bit of pork on top, filled to the brim with this crappy. I got the garlic. I got shredded pork with garlic sauce. And I'm not crazy about garlic to begin with. I asked for it on the side. It did not come on the side. It was absolutely. I sent you a picture from the side so you can see how tall this bowl is. Just pure garlic sauce. I tried to have a bite. I almost puked. It was horrifying.
So
Who can
this,
eat that much garlic?
you know what? I mean, you did not have a good experience with broccoli and garlic sauce.
No, but even that sauce wasn't. It was like a paint can full of garlic sauce. I don't remember it being that obtrusive.
Yeah.
So this was the worst since chow mein for me, but the best for you.
It's strange, right? It's a strange. I think that's part of the Chinese takeout experience. You know,
Do we know what Peking sauce is? Or?
Well, yeah, I've got to delve into that a little further, or maybe Jerry will. Good old Jerry. Jerry will set me straight in the comment section on the YouTube. Everybody should at least look at the YouTube, because there's some good comments there from Jerry and other people. But
I'm gonna try those. I'm gonna try those oats he was talking about.
Yeah, no, I've been.
You don't even boil them. I still don't think I have that right, but I'm gonna try them.
Yeah, no, I spoke to somebody else about the cold oatmeal, and I've never had cold oatmeal before, so that's something I might try. But the oatmeal's been going over well with my father, so I'm going to keep at it with that. I learned that my second attempt at making it was better than my first. I should have waited till the water boiled before adding the oats the first time. But I think I've got it down.
It was a test of patience, and you failed.
It was a test run. I think it took twice as long to cook, but I think I've got it down now, and it's pretty good.
Well, what flavor would you say hits you from this Peking sauce?
Well, I guess maybe it's a little sweet. It's not a strong flavor. It was just right. I mean, everything was. I love this dish. I was really kind of chowing down. I was chowing down, and you know, I gave some to my father. He liked it. You know, so even though he, you know, I think he was surprised at the spiciness, but that didn't prevent him from eating it. You know, he seemed to like it. So yeah,
mine was garbage.
I'm sorry to hear that. Where did you even get that black pepper? I mean, did you see that on a menu and then you couldn't find it at the place?
I just randomly, I was like, oh, let me randomly find, and then I think by the time I went back to actually order it, I couldn't find it, and this was close. I'd seen you had said garlic sauce, so. But it wasn't like I pictured shredded pork. I pictured it like, you know, like pulled pork. And these are just disgusting little ribbons of. I say they look like chickens' fingers, but not like chicken tenders you eat, but like if chickens had little fingers. Fucking disgusting. Just swimming in an ocean of this goop crap.
Well, if you see the photo,
I opened the lid and I almost passed out.
Yeah, if you see the photo on my on this video, that's the way the pork looked with mine as well. But there were more peppers and onions and carrots in it, almost to the point where, you know, usually I take a photo with the lid off to give people an idea what it is. But if I did that, I mean, people wouldn't have even really seen the pork. I mean, there was a fair amount of pork in it, but when I opened the lid, all you could see were the vegetables. So there were a lot of vegetables in mine. I mean, I looked online for photos of this dish, and there's lots of photos without any vegetables at all, and I think that would have been incredible. I think if I got just the pork and the sauce with the rice, it would have been great. But I don't think that
Well, you
would have
can do that. You can
helped
order
you
it that
out.
way.
No, you probably could. Yeah, I think they charge you a
I
little.
had I lived it was only like a year or two ago. My nephew ordered lo mein with no vegetables.
Like
Yeah. Pork lo mein. I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, you can do that?
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. Now you can customize the order, and they'll either
I mean, I guess I just thought that lo mein had like the vegetables baked into it, like not all ready to go. Like I didn't think they just put it all together after you ordered it.
How do you think
so
they
I
make
thought
it?
if you asked for that, they'd want to kill you because they'd have to pick it out or something. But I
Haven't
didn't
you
know.
seen the guy at the wok just throwing all the stuff in one by one?
Hey, I was wrong.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Right. Okay.
Made a mistake.
All right.
Jesus.
So what are you going to rate yours?
Boy, I still have to put it above chow mein because chow mein just offended me.
Yeah.
I say I gave chow mein a 0. I'm going to give it a 0.5.
0.5. Wow.
Yes. This was, oh, wait. The Four Seasons thing I gave a 0.1 to. I got to give it a 0.1 then because this is the worst. I can't remember what Four Seasons was, but it can't be worse than this shit.
And the sad fact is, I'm looking at the menu and thinking of shows ahead. And when I saw the garlic sauce option, I'm like, oh, maybe in the future, we can do chicken with garlic sauce. Or
I did what you had said before. I asked for the sauce on the side.
Yeah,
they
ignored that. Yeah.
So I'm willing to try it again someplace else and ask for it on the side. You can kind of
you gotta zero in on one reliable place. I say that and now I'm looking to try a new place out. I stumbled upon some Google reviews for another Chinese takeout near me. Howell Kitchen, it's called. And somebody made the proclamation, but I guess it's probably on every review board for every takeout place. This is the best Chinese takeout in Howell. I'm like, oh, okay. And then somebody wrote a lengthy appraisal, just really loving everything. But particularly, she mentions the pork egg foo young. And she talks about how she finally got a place where they made it right. And
really,
yeah. So she mentioned the gravy was right. So all right, I'm intrigued. After I even had a very good, my second attempt with egg foo young was very successful. I loved it. But now I saw this review and I'm like, wait a second, do I have to check this place out?
I think you do.
I think I do. Yeah.
There was an egg foo young sighting on another All in the Family.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's two different episodes where they've mentioned egg foo young. That I saw. This one, they was talking about a Chinese restaurant they used to go to, and Archie used to make a bad joke. He'd order, tell the waiter something, and some
egg Robert
Foo Young.
Oh, Robert Foo Young, yeah.
Yeah. So
I had to go deep in my memory.
That
Robert
is good.
Young, he was an actor.
You just came up with that? That's good. But that twice in All in the Family, I've seen them mention, or one time actually eat egg foo young. So that is the egg foo what show so far. So
I'm thinking that that's the early 70s, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that must have been the height of egg foo young, and it's probably been downhill ever since.
Maybe until now.
Yeah.
Until us.
We revived it. Yes, we revived it.
Maybe instead of trying a new dish every week, we should just eat egg foo young every week.
Well, if you want to try a different place for egg foo young next week, I've got another place that I'd like to try it. So,
well, then let's do that.
After this week's debacle for you, I think maybe
I've earned it.
I could earn your trust again.
Yeah,
letting you have another week of egg foo young.
I mean, I did pick the fruit port.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's do that then. Since you have a new egg foo young, you want to get excited about.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to check it out.
All right. I've earned another egg foo young.
Did you get
That
a
makes me
cookie
happy.
with this bad meal?
I had to pay $1 and ask for my fortune cookie,
$1.
which I've never done before. But yes, I got it.
And it's the same little thing that you get for free?
Yeah.
Oh my God. $1 for that?
Maybe it's got maybe the fortune in here doesn't suck. Maybe it's an actual good,
That's the
something useful.
cookie. It's the same cookie.
It's a combination to a safe and a bank. Yes, yeah, it's the same, exact same.
Wow.
Same cookies all.
$1.
Are you opening yours?
Yeah. Oh, mine's short and
It's the
sweet.
exact same as,
Wow. This one is really profound.
Wow.
He who hesitates is last.
What?
Yeah.
Boy, dropping the bomb, China. I've heard that one before. Well, this is, you will step on the soil of many countries in your lifetime. Huh.
Well, you've traveled.
I have to say,
You've gotten some traveling in.
I've got a little travel. I've been lucky with. Of all the bullshit stuff we've gotten from fortune cookies, this is at least a fortune. They are saying, "Hey, you're going to do this
right in the future." Yeah.
Is that the first time they've actually said something that's like tangible?
You're right. They're just a cliche like mine.
Yeah, like when the cow jumps over the moose, there will be lasagna in the moon.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, huh? Maybe I'll play these lucky numbers on the other side then.
I think you
5, 10,
should.
19, 20, 31, 45. Solid numbers.
Is the mega big this week? Do you even play the lottery?
Oh, I did. You know what? I'm one of those people that loves to brag about how I don't bother until it's like $1 billion.
That's what I
What is
do.
it? I know 2 weeks ago it was up to $1 billion.
Yeah. I played $10.
But I think somebody won, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know. Was it one person or a few people? I don't even know. I just heard that
I think it was one person in
it was
Maine.
hit, as they say. Somebody hit
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No,
So,
like especially when I'm in Richmond, it's easy to just pop in the 7-Eleven and get a ticket.
yeah.
They have an app for it, but like can't buy it in DC on the app. You can't buy it in Virginia on the app. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah,
gambling on my phone is a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm like that can't go well. But yeah, I like to get a ticket every once in a while when it gets up to absurd numbers.
Uh-huh.
And then I actually think I'm going to win. Just like this mixtape I sweated over for hours. When I looked at it, I was like, this can't lose. This is the greatest mixtape. This one, she's going to fall in love with me immediately. I better make my bed because I will be having a guest later on. Every time I pick numbers for the lottery, I'm like, this is goofy. This is funny. But then right before I hand it over, I'll look at, I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I think these are good numbers. And then, of course,
Yeah.
I fall for it every time like an idiot.
Yeah. I got into
I used to work with a guy
yeah.
when I first moved to New York. I don't know if it's every day or once. I think it was just like the daily lottery. Like I don't know, maybe win a couple of bucks or whatever.
Pick 3.
He'd come over every time. I'd have his ticket, and he'd have that day's numbers. It'd be like, okay, they had 16, I had 18. They had 20. And he's like I'm like, Harry, fucking rent. It doesn't, you're not gonna fit. He's like, no.
Yeah, I had the same dumb
I'll
argument with somebody one time where I was just saying it's random. So like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can come out.
Right.
And you're not betting on the odds of that coming out. So, and actually I think one of the Mega Millions had a bunch of numbers like that. It was like 13, 14, 15,
Yeah. Oh, that's right. A couple weeks ago, it was like you wouldn't have. But yeah, every day he'd be like, he thought he was figuring it out. He could beat the. I had another guy like that. He's like, I met him this back when I was doing real estate, so I'd meet some weirdos. And he had said his dad won some like $100,000 or something in the lottery, and I was like, oh, that's nice or whatever. I'm trying to close. and I don't mean like with the ladies, I mean like real estate. And he goes, I go, oh, that's great. He goes, and then he somehow implied his dad's figured it out, and it's going to be all. He gave me this look like, well, he's got it figured out now, so he's, going to be like, I'm like, oh, okay.
Something
I'm like,
about
is he going to be paying for this apartment? Because you can't.
something about the male mind and gambling. It just,
I'm not a gambler at all, but
yeah.
yeah, when I hand in that ticket for them to scan or
Mhm.
whatever, there's a split second where I'm like, I
Mhm.
think I got that. I think I nailed this.
Oh no, I think everybody does, right? $1 and a
Right?
dream. That's the dream, I mean,
Yeah.
if you wanted to throw $10 away, you could go throw $10 in the gutter, right?
Yeah.
But you have the
Yeah.
dream, right? So
I mean, there's nothing else in my life I ever like hand over to somebody or show where I'm like, this is gonna change. This is killer.
mhm.
But for some reason with that, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm about to win $100 million.
I mean, I gamble around the Super Bowl. I'll get into some pool or something, and I've never won. Although a few years ago I did hit something, and it was a
Oh,
ridiculous
a few
pool.
years ago, I won like $60 on the
Mhm.
squares for the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like 50 or $60. I think I won.
I won $700 in this pool, but you had
Yowza.
to you had to get into the
Hey,
pool. Yeah,
800.
300.
Oh,
So I made $400, but I
right.
I could have lost 300.
$300.
Yeah, no, like I said, some of the pools in the bars I worked at are crazy, and I heard stories about other pools that that you have to put in thousands of dollars just to get in the pool, and then you win 100,000 or a million, something crazy. I mean,
Mhm.
there are all these gambling uh, groups out there, particularly around the Super Bowl, and yeah, I mean, I saw it. It
Yeah,
was
thank
wild.
God I never got the smoking and gambling. If I'd ever gotten
Mhm.
into those, I would have made it past like 25.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So.
Between that and this shitty garlic sauce pork I got today. All
Uh-huh.
conspiring to kill me.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Um, maybe
Big
great.
show coming up in a couple weeks. We got to get people excited about Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
Our day to
All right.
shine.
Well, after all these romantic failure stories, you are still optimistic about Valentine's Day. I give you credit for that, Greg. I mean, you have a well of optimism that I marvel at. That is one
Hey,
of your characteristics that I do. I'm impressed.
is this a bit?
It's not. I'm trying to compliment you.
Hey, you never know.
You never know. It's true.
You never know. That's all you can do in life. You
Yeah,
never know.
you never know.
You never know that door might open and walks Miss
Uh,
Lisk.
you know. Well, at my age, I
You're
think
you're always one moment away from your life changing forever.
Are you trying to boost me up?
Well, no, because as I'm saying that, I'm like, that moment never seems to happen for me. But all
Why
you
wouldn't
have is
happen?
that
Why
hope.
would it happen for him?
But all you can do is have that hope, even if
Yeah,
it's
no. Hope is
pointless.
essential. I agree, but then there's reality.
I don't know if it's hope as much as
Uh,
just, it's not hope as much as, fuck it, you never know.
no,
That's more my, like, I don't have any real hope, but I do have a sense of, you never know.
no. I
Strange things
hear it.
happen.
You have like real optimism,
Oh, thanks, buddy.
which I haven't had in a while.
And that's after that shitty food I tried to eat.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Imagine me
saying.
after
It's
imagine sitting in like Bojangles with me, how
uh-huh.
happy I am.
And you're saying this after you went through a series of romantic failures with your mixtape,
Yeah.
your soul,
Hey, I'm
soul
bringing that
asylum
tape
love
back.
letter.
I'm bringing that tape back.
Well, you've got a new
Maybe I should
audience.
send it to her.
You'll
Here's your
have a new
seat.
audience. Who could turn down this mixtape?
Yeah. For
Actually,
Valentine's Day, I will send one lucky fan a mixtape.
uh-huh.
A
Can you dub it?
recreation of the
Do you still have
mixtape that
access
I
to
will
a cassette
post.
deck? Uh,
Huh?
do you still have access to a cassette tape? Cassette deck.
Yeah, Will, who
Oh, okay.
I guess a couple weeks ago, he has that stuff.
He can dub a copy for you.
I'm sure, yeah. Yeah, he's got that
We'll
stuff.
do a contest. Okay, that sounds
We'll
good.
do a contest, a Valentine's Day
Okay.
contest. Lucky fan
A lucky
will get a
fan.
recreated tape of the greatest mixtape of all time.
Yeah.
Great
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
Yeah. See, you never know.
We'll do a poll. I'm thinking of doing a poll now. Whether this mixtape would have endeared you to Greg or not. And then I'm sure social media will weigh in what is wrong with this playlist, as they always do, because you can count on social media to just
I think
drag
they'd be like, what is
you
wrong with
down.
this woman? What is wrong with this woman who could have had all this?
Are you friends on Facebook at least?
No, I haven't talked. We stayed friends, but then it's been a couple years since we really touched base.
Okay.
After it's been 20 years basically.
Okay.
And after that, no matter how close you are,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of drift apart. So
just seems like yesterday, though, right?
It does. Yeah, that's the best one.
It's
Maybe I'll start up
amazing,
a
right?
podcast with her.
You have a mental fixation. Call it love. I call it maybe a mental fixation. But then it goes away. It does go away. But
it's better.
what's that?
Can't get worse.
It can't get worse, right?
Yeah, that saying, it gets better.
Uh-huh.
I come up behind that and say it can't get worse.
Yeah. I was gonna say nobody ever died from lack of love, but that's not true.
Nobody ever died from a lack of love.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems to happen. It
Yeah,
happens
no,
with
no, that's what I'm saying. I think it does happen.
Yeah.
Not as often as singer-songwriters would have it be though.
No. That's okay.
They play it up a little more than the reality.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll have a little Valentine's Day contest.
Okay. I like it.
Get excitement in the audience now.
Yeah.
And Egg for Young next week. So man, I got a lot to look forward to.
You too.
That's what I've learned. The older I get, the more I learn. I just have to have something in front of me.
Yeah.
To look forward to. That's all.
Words of wisdom.
Doesn't have to be something big. Just something.
Yeah. I like it. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. And tell your friends. We're always looking for new listeners. And
don't beg.
Okay, yeah. Cut me off.
Thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.